Welcome back, focused learners, to today's explainer. We're actually skipping the usual agenda today because I want to dive straight into a genuinely surprising biological hack we just uncovered. We are going to explore exactly how you can upgrade your brain, your eyes, and your body's entire energy grid, literally all by using a single, delicious intervention.
80%. That is the massive, estimated amount of information we humans process that comes exclusively through our vision. Because we rely so heavily on our sight, the retinas at the back of our eyes, which, kind of act like the film in a camera, they require just an immense amount of oxygen and nutrients. To convert light into electrical signals for the brain, your eyes demand this incredible, uninterrupted blood flow. But here's the catch. As we age, or let's be honest, just stare at screens all day, that blood flow drops. And when it drops, our performance absolutely plummets.
But here is the hook. Clinical research shows a truly surprising reality. Just 2 hours after eating dark chocolate, your eye's contrast sensitivity measurably improves. High-cacao chocolate can physically change your vision. Specifically, it improves your ability to distinguish subtle shades of color and light. Just imagine eating a piece of chocolate and, a couple of hours later, actually seeing the world more crisply. Crazy, right? So how is this even possible?
Section 1. Saving screen-tired eyes, the modern epidemic. Okay, let's dive right into this. To understand the cure, we really have to look at how our daily screen time exhausts our ciliary muscles. It keeps them tightly contracted, which is honestly a lot like carrying a heavy basket around all day long.
Enter our hero, cacao. Cacao is absolutely packed with these plant-based compounds called flavonoids. When you consume these flavonoids, they trigger your body to produce something called nitric oxide right inside your blood vessels. Nitric oxide acts as a powerful vasodilator. It quite literally forces your blood vessels to widen and open up, delivering a massive rush of fresh oxygen directly to those starving retinas. Let's map out this biological chain reaction. Step 1. You take in the flavonols from the cacao. Step 2. Nitric oxide gets released into your bloodstream. Step 3. Your blood vessels expand. And finally, Step 4. You get enhanced vision. But it's not just about oxygen delivery. When those vessels expand, the rushing blood also clears out all the stagnant fatigue substances, like lactic acid, that have built up in your tense eye muscles from staring at screens all day. It is literally like a high-pressure flush for your eyes.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how versatile this mechanism really is, as cacao tackles 4 distinct eye problems simultaneously. We've talked about contrast and eye strain, but what about dry eye? Well, tears are actually made from blood plasma. Better blood flow means better tear production. Plus, cacao contains magnesium, which physically calms the nerve hypersensitivity that makes dry eyes feel so painful and itchy. And for macular degeneration, which can actually lead to blindness, the massive dose of antioxidants in cacao fights off the free radical damage caused by blue light and UV rays.
Section 2. Boosting brains and libido. The focus and drive connection. The benefits of opening up your blood vessels don't just stop at your eyes. They actually extend to common midlife symptoms like brain fog and lethargy.
When you consume cacao flavonols, you're increasing blood flow straight to the frontal lobe of your brain. That's your command center for willpower and decision-making, which really helps you crush procrastination. But even more fascinating, it triggers the release of BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as literally adding RAM to your computer. It's a protein that nourishes your existing brain cells and stimulates the growth of entirely new nerve networks. It's a massive boost to your memory and cognitive processing speed. Step 1 is improved blood flow, which leads to Step 2, enhanced organ function. From there we get Step 3, hormonal balance, and finally Step 4, rejuvenated libido. We have to look objectively at how this systemic blood flow affects our physical drive, especially for men and women in their 40s and 50s. The reproductive organs require massive blood flow to function properly. By expanding the vascular system, cacao physically supports reproductive health. For men, this means supporting the mechanics of erectile function. For women, enhanced blood flow to the ovaries and uterus supports hormone balance and natural lubrication. When the body is functionally youthful and energized, natural libido is rejuvenated.
Section 3. The cellular energy factory, beating exhaustion. If you constantly feel like your battery is sitting at 10%, you are definitely not alone, and there is a very real, microscopic reason behind it.
It all comes down to your mitochondria. These are the cellular power plants inside nearly every single cell of your body. They take oxygen and nutrients and convert them into the physical energy you use to actually get through the day. The sad reality of aging is that as we get older, our mitochondria decline in both quantity and quality. It quietly saps our daily stamina.
But here is the major aha moment of this entire explainer. Clinical studies show that cacao actually switches on genes that increase the number of mitochondria in your cells. It literally builds new power plants. And because we already know cacao uses vasodilation to improve blood flow, it perfectly delivers the increased oxygen these new power plants need to run at peak efficiency. You're increasing both the quantity and the quality of your cellular energy. How cool is that?
Section 4. Blood vessels and nerves, the core mechanism. So the crucial point here is, why does this one simple food affect so many different systems? We really need a unified theory to make sense of all this.
It all boils down to this. Optimal human body performance relies heavily on just two master systems. You have the blood vessels, which act as the delivery system for oxygen and nutrients, and the nerves, which act as the information signaling system. Cacao is this incredibly rare Trojan horse health hack because it simultaneously optimizes both. It dilates the vessels for perfect delivery, and it uses compounds like magnesium and polyphenols to calm and repair the information network. Optimize these two systems, and your whole body upgrades. Section 5. The 70% rule, creating the habit. Okay, so the science is clear, but how do we actually put this into practice safely and effectively in our everyday routine?
First and foremost, I need to give you a stark warning. When we say chocolate, we do not mean the candy aisle. Eating sugary milk chocolate will do the exact opposite of everything we just learned. Sugar spikes your blood glucose, damages your blood vessels, and causes arterial sclerosis. Over time, sugar-loaded chocolate actually accelerates the exact diseases, like diabetes, macular degeneration, and blindness that real cacao prevents.
Therefore, the golden rule is 70%. You absolutely must select chocolate that is at least 70% cacao. Now yes, it will taste a bit bitter at first if you aren't used to it, but I promise your palate will adjust. Ideally, as you get comfortable, you want to work your way up to 80% or even 90% cacao to really maximize those medicinal compounds and minimize the sugar.
But remember, even high-cacao chocolate contains fats and a mild stimulant called theobromine, which acts a little bit like caffeine. So, in this case, more is not always better. The strict clinical dosage for these benefits is a maximum of 1/4 of a standard chocolate bar per day. Literally, just a few small squares. That's all you need. Let's move on and see how this builds into the perfect daily schedule. Because it takes about 2 hours for the blood vessels to fully dilate, you want to eat your 1/4 bar of cacao 2 hours before your most demanding task, whether that's a deep work session, studying, or just heavy screen time. This gives you peak blood flow and focus exactly when you need it. And crucially, because of that mild caffeine-like effect, make sure you keep it away from your bedtime so you can still get deep, restorative sleep.
We are asking so much of our eyes and brains in this modern, screen-heavy world, often leaving ourselves utterly drained. But the solution might just be sitting right there in the natural world, waiting to be utilized. So, I'll leave you with this provocative thought. Knowing the incredible science behind blood flow, BDNF, and mitochondria, will you swap your daily screen scrolling time for a simple 1/4 bar of dark chocolate to functionally upgrade your brain, your eyes, and your vitality? Try it out, build the habit, and see exactly how your body responds. Thanks for learning with me today on The Explainer.